Hey guys, in this tutorial I'm going to teach you how to solve a Rubik's Cube. This is an absolute beginner method. If you've never solved a Rubik's Cube before, don't worry, we'll go through it step by step until you complete your first puzzle. Let's get started. Alright, let's take a look at your cube and learn a little bit about it. Your cube has 6 faces. Whichever face you happen to be looking at is the front face. Then you have the right face, the top face, left face, bottom face, and then in the back is the back face. Now, during a solve, you're going to rotate your cube several times. So whenever you rotate the cube, this now becomes the front face. This is the top face. This one is the right face. So the color really doesn't matter. But most people will solve the cube with the white face at the bottom and the yellow face at the top. And that's what we'll do in this tutorial. When we approach the cube, a lot of times people tend to think of a cube as a jumbled mess of stickers. And there's 54 stickers in all because we have 9 stickers and 6 faces. So 9 stickers on each, so we have 54 there. But we're not solving the cube one sticker at a time. We'll be solving the cube in pieces. And what I mean by that is if you look at the cube and kind of how it's constructed, there's these little plastic cubies, really. And there are only 20 of them. There's 8 of them on the corner. And the corner cubies have 3 stickers on them. And so these stickers will not move. They don't come off this piece of plastic and go on to another one. And the edge pieces only have 2 stickers on them. And so all of these pieces are unique, but there's only 20. There's 8 of the corner pieces. There's 4 at the bottom and 4 at the top. So only 8 pieces that have 3 stickers. And there's 12 pieces that have 2 stickers. These are called edge pieces. We have 4 of them on the top, 4 of them in the middle, and then we have 4 of them on the bottom. So we have a total of 12 edge pieces and 8 corners. That makes 20 pieces, and that's all we have to solve. So we're going to get right into it. Okay, before we solve the cube, we first have to scramble it up. Just start turning the sides and the top, the back, the bottom. You can scramble it up any way you want to, and you can really go ahead and mess with it. It really doesn't matter how much you scramble it. Only about 16 to 20 turns usually is all that's required to scramble a cube. I just really like to, get my hands right, on it and just scramble it up good. It doesn't really matter how much you scramble it. The solve is going to be the same. All right, step 1 of solving this cube with this beginner method. The first step is to make a daisy in the top face. Basically, make sure that your yellow center is on top. Your white center is on the bottom, and it's always going to be that way. If yellow's on the top, white's always going to be on the bottom. Our goal is to have white stickers on these 4 positions right around the yellow center, and it'll look like a daisy when we're done. So the first thing I notice is I have a white sticker right here, so I'm just going to go ahead and move it up, and that's the first one. I do see that there's another one here, and if I move it up, it's going to take place of the one I just put there. So what I can do to keep this one and preserve it is to rotate the top face and then put this piece in. Looks like I have another one ready to go. Again, same thing. I'm going to turn the top face so that these 2 are out of the way and then move this one up. And I have one more, which I can also just move up. Now, I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate this again, so I'm going to just do another scramble because there might be some harder cases of getting that daisy going. So let's give this a shot here. So here's one sticker's already in there. There's another one. Just looking around here to see. Okay, there's two at the bottom. So if I want to move this bottom one up here, if I turned it twice, that's great, I got it in there, but then this one's down here. So again, I will need to turn the top face so that when I want to get this position in there, I'll just give that a quick rotate, and then this one also. There might be some other cases that might be a little bit harder, and I'll go through those now. None of these cases are really hard. They might take as many 3 moves or so in order to get them in there. So let's try that again. I got this piece. I want to get this one in there. I have 2 of the petals so far of the daisy. Then I have this piece here. So this one, if I turn it this way and then move it all the way up, great, I've got it, but it's not quite right. The piece is in the right place, but the sticker is facing outward instead of up. So to fix that, it would take, we could do it in 3 moves or 2 moves, just depends on what we've got. So let's take this sticker, if I move it this way and then up, well, I've got the petal, it's working, it's in a different spot than I intended, but it's definitely there. The last petal is over here, and I'm going to put it here. Now I have, if I move it up, it's in the wrong orientation. And I don't have any more spots left to do the move I just did with this other one, because now it's pushing that out of the way. So what I can do is I can turn this all the way around so that it's down at the bottom. And if I'm going to get it in here, I'm going to give it a quarter turn so that it's at least to the right or left, doesn't really matter. And then I'm going to turn the top face, and then I'm going to put that in. So now I have the daisy. So this is what our goal is. The 4 corners don't matter. It doesn't matter if these are colored or white. Completely doesn't matter. Well, all we're after in step 1 is to get 4 petals of a daisy with the yellow center. So that is step 1. All right. Step 2 is after we've made the daisy. The next goal is to get these 4 pieces down into the bottom layer, with the white center being in the middle of the 4 pieces. Now, the reason why we're doing this is because we're going to do a little bit of aligning first before we put them down to the bottom layer, because we're not only just after the yellow center being right, we also want these other centers to line up with the pieces that we're using. So to get started, let's take a look. This here is the white blue piece. Again, pieces are all unique. You will not find another white blue piece anywhere on this cube. The rest of them, are white and red, white and orange, and white and green. So they're all unique. So in order to get this into the bottom layer next to the white center and do it correctly, we want to make sure that this lines up with the right center. So I'm going to rotate the bottom pieces, and you see how this lines up now. This is a blue sticker with a blue center. This is going to let me flip this all the way around to the bottom layer. Again, yellow on top, white is on the bottom, but take a look. It's connected to the blue center and the white center together. So this piece is in place, and this is where it will be at the final solution. This is where it's going to end up. So we're going to do our best to keep this piece here throughout the rest of the solve, and if we do move it out of place, we will make sure we put it back. All right, so let's take a look at this one. This is the white green piece, and that is a yellow center, or a red center, so that's not going to work. So I'll turn this around. That's not right. That's not right. This is right. So once you have it right, we'll just flip it over, and now we have green and white. And the blue one is still in place too, so I can trace my finger down, all the way down through and see that those all match up. I have two left. This one is aligned, so let's go ahead and just turn that around. Yellow or orange, and now we have the red piece is all that's left. So let's rotate. We're lined up with the red center. We'll flip that around, and now we have a white cross. But not only do we have a white cross, we also have the centers are all matching. So all of the white pieces are solved in this solution of our Rubik's Cube. So this is what we're after. We want to make sure that the right white edge pieces are in with their centers. So that is step 2. Okay, we're moving on to step 3. In step 2, we made sure that we have a white cross, and we made sure that each of the white pieces align with the correct center. All right, now what we're after, our next goal, is to get these 4 corners with the right piece and with the white stickers facing in the right direction. So here's a corner piece with a white sticker on it, but you can see here that this is red and not orange. So this is not even the right piece to go here. This piece would actually need to go over here. And then this one also needs to go over here. So we're going to do this one corner piece at a time. And by the way, since we already have the 4 edges, the white edges are already done, there's only 4 white stickers left. So they're easy to spot on a cube now, right? Cool. All right, so what we want to do first is look at the top layer and find the white stickers. And what we're going to do is similar to what we did with step 2. We're going to take this piece and we're going to align a sticker to a center. So this is orange and this is green, so this isn't right for us. This is not right. That's not right. And this is right. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this piece right here and still preserve this cross. And how we do that is we first move the white sticker in place, and you can see here it's connected, but my edge piece is gone. We've temporarily moved it all the way to the back. So what we're going to do is, and I'll show you that again. You can just pay attention to this one. We're going to move this in, and then in order to put this back without messing up our corner, is we're going to need to move the corner out of the way this way. So we're going to move it out of the way. We'll put this back, and now we can put the corner back. And so we've got the piece in there. So I can actually trace my finger around this corner piece, and we have a good block here. Now we only have 3 corners left. So let's look up here again. All right, so we have this one. This is interesting because the white is on top. So what we'll do is we will rotate these around until we have this in the right, kind of in the right place. It doesn't match up with these, but this is the position that it'll go. So when this is flipped over here, these stickers will match with their centers. So we have 2 ways of solving this case where the white sticker is on top. The first is to turn this to the right, and then from the top, turn it 2 times. So it moves it over here. And then if we put this back and then put this back, now it's kind of like the cases that we had before. So we could then do those 4 moves, putting it in, out of the way, put it back, and put it back. So that's one way of handling it. There is another way of handling it too, when in the case when it is where the sticker is facing up. there is an algorithm that you can just do and repeat, and it'll get this piece in here. And I'll show you what that looks like. It's right, up, and then right the other way, and then up the other way. Now it's over here. We'll just repeat that. Right, up, right the other way, up the other way. And then one more time. Right, up, right the other way, and up the other way. And now it's in there. So that is called an algorithm. I'll put it on the screen. We're going to use this algorithm again, so we can definitely learn that with the next two pieces that we're doing. Look at this. So these two pieces are already in the bottom layer. They're not even in the top layer. So one way we can get them out of there is to use that algorithm. Remember? Right, up, right the other way, and up the other way. So now this piece is here. The white sticker is not facing up. So let's align the center, and we can use the method. I guess I call it like a pendulum method because we're putting this down here, swinging it out of the way, putting this back, and then swinging this back. So it kind of looks like this. 4 moves. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. And we have one more sticker to go. It's white and it's on top. So we'll use that 4-move solution algorithm. Again, I'll put it up on the screen. Here we go. Right, up, right again, which is backwards right, and then up to this way. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's right, up, right the other way, and up the other way. And we have now basically solved the entire bottom layer. If you think of this in layers, we have the bottom layer, the middle layer, and the top layer. And we have solved the complete bottom layer. We still have our cross that we made in step 2. And now we've filled in these 4 corners, and this is what step 3 looks like. Another thing to look at is we should have a complete row, and it matches with the center. So it's a row and a center, and a row, center. This piece doesn't matter right now. It is solved, but we weren't intending to do that in this step. And this is a row with the center. So this is what it looks like. So that is step 3. If we ever mess up during step 3, we may have to go back to step 1 or back to step 2. Just depends on how bad we mess up. But messing up in Rubik's Cubes is a very common thing to do. Even for advanced users, we will mess up an algorithm and have to go back to an earlier step. But it's no big deal. So we'll just keep on going. Okay, we are now on to step 4. In step 4, we're only interested in finding 4 more pieces. So we're looking for a piece to go here, which if we look at the centers, we know exactly what needs to go here. It'll be the blue-red piece. And over here, we would be looking for the orange-blue piece. And in here, the green and orange piece. And this one, look at that. This one is already done. This is the red and green piece. So we need to just find 3 pieces at this point. So let's go ahead and do that one at a time. So here is a piece that is one of the ones I need. That's the green and orange piece. The best thing I can do is line it up to the center, and we want to put it over here to the right. So this will be our second algorithm. We don't have to learn very many. I think it's just 4 or 5 to solve a whole cube, but they're very easy. So this algorithm to get this piece over to the right-hand side looks like this. Right, up, right, up, right. Then reverse, starting with up. It's up backwards, right backwards, up backwards, right backwards. And that put the piece where I want it to go. So we need to do that again, this time with the orange and blue piece, which is over here. Now, I lined it up with the orange sticker, so that's wrong, isn't it? So I need to make sure that it is lined up with blue. So we want this sticker to match up with the center. Since this is going to the left, we're going to turn the right face to the left. It's going to look like this. It's that same algorithm, except this time we're going backwards. So I'm going to write the second algorithm up here on the screen. And here we go. Right, up, right, up, right. And now we're going to reverse what we just did, starting with up. We're going to go up, right, up, and right. So by the way, on these algorithms, if you see the little tick mark, that means go counterclockwise. If it does not have a tick mark, you turn it clockwise. So that may help you in understanding these algorithms a little bit. But I will definitely try to keep it simple for you. All right, we have another piece to look for. It's the blue-red piece, which is this one, but it's not lined up with the center right, so I need to go and change that. So now it is lined up with the blue piece, and we want to go to the right with it. So here we go. Right, up, right, up, right. Then reverse, starting with up. Go up, right, right. And now it's in there. And this one was already solved when we started. So we have now finished step 4. And we have the first 2 layers completely done. The top layer is filled with yellow because yellow is really what we're going to be doing for the last layer and these corners. So we only have 8 pieces left to go. We got to get these 4 and then these 4. So let's go ahead and continue. Okay, we are now on step 5 of solving our Rubik's Cube. Step 5 is kind of like step 1 and 2, where we built the white cross. Step 5 is building a yellow cross, which it already is. And see, it is common, but it doesn't always happen. So sometimes you'll have a dot here, just the dot, and none of these are yellow. Sometimes you'll have an L shape, and sometimes you'll have a straight line. The good news is that no matter what situation you have, this is the final outcome, but you have one new algorithm to learn that will get you there. So I'm going to actually show you that algorithm, and then I'm going to show you what to do in what case. So this part of this step is kind of like an if-then type of situation. You don't know if you're going to get a line, a dot, or a cross, but the solution to it is the same. So here's the algorithm for it. It's front, up, right, then up backwards, right backwards, front backwards. And so now I have a line. I don't really worry about the corners right now. I'm just worried about these 4 pieces and the center. So this is a line. And I'm going to do this again. Front, right, front, up, right, then up, right, front. That gives me the L shape. And finally, I'm going to do this one more time so that we can get to the dot shape. Okay, so this is what I usually run into, is I run into a dot. And if you perform the algorithm while you have a dot, which is front, up, right, then up backwards, right backwards, and front backwards, then I get a line. And if I see a line, I always want to make the line horizontal instead of vertical. Because when I do it horizontal, I can do that algorithm again. It is front, up, right, up backwards, right backwards, front backwards. That gives me the L. And then one more time with the L positioned this way, you want it facing to the back and to the left. If you get that L like that, you can then do the algorithm and get your cross. And it looks like this again. Front, up, right, up backwards, front, right backwards, and then front backwards. So this gives me the cross. It also gave me these, but that was not intended. So we will see some other things with that. But this step, if you have a yellow cross, then step 5 is done. It doesn't matter if these are right in the right places. Step 5 is considered done when you have a yellow cross. Okay, we're moving on to step 6. In step 5, I built a yellow cross. But in step 6, what we want to do is we want to make sure that these pieces line up with these centers, like we did in previous steps with the white cross. So you can clearly see here I don't have all my centers lined up. I only have one. So that means we do have some work to do. So let's take a look and see what we have here. So if you only have one that matches, then you need to give it a rotation to see if we can get 2 that match. If we get 2, then we're in the right track. So I rotated it once, so now orange is no longer lining up, but blue is, and so is red. So we got 2, and they're also adjacent to each other instead of opposite. So this is where we want to be. And if we get to this point, we want to make sure that these two, I'm going to rotate the whole cube around so that the solved ones are pointing to the right and to the back. And the 2 unsolved ones are right where I can see them on the left-hand side and the front. So when we get to this point, we're going to run an algorithm that's going to trade these 2 in their places. So this is what the algorithm looks like. It's going on the screen. And here we go. It is right, up, right backwards, up again, right, up 2 times, and then right backwards. And finally one more up. That will align all 4 of my cross pieces. My yellow cross pieces are all aligned, and that is what step 6 looks like. Okay, I also wanted to show you another case for step 6 where we are trying to figure out, we already got the cross, but these pieces are not aligned correctly. But when you go to align them, like I got the red one here, this one's not right, this one's not right, but this one is, and they are opposite one another. So when that happens, you'll have to do the algorithm I showed just a minute ago. We'll have to do that algorithm 2 times. So first we're going to do it once, which is right, up, right backwards, up again, right, up 2 times, and then right backwards. At this point, I have now this one is right, this one is right, and these 2 are not. So we got these 2 that are adjacent to each other, and now I can put them to the right and the back. The solved ones are right and back, and the unsolved ones are where I can see them in the left-hand side and the front. Then we do the algorithm a second time, and so it looks like right, up, right backwards, up, right, up 2 times, and right backwards. And then you give it one more turn on the upside so that all of these are lined up. So if you happen to do this and you get to this step and none of them at all are lined up no matter what you do, just go ahead and run that algorithm, and you should be able to get either one of those cases where they're opposites or adjacent, and then you have to run the algorithm. So At most, you would have to run that algorithm 3 times to get that solved. So step 6, again, is done when you have a yellow cross and all the centers are lined up. So that is the end of step 6. Okay, we're moving on to step number 7. We have the yellow cross on top, and all 4 of these are lined up with their centers. At this point, we don't want to do too much of adjusting the the top layer very much. Our next goal is to get these corners positioned right. Doesn't necessarily mean oriented right. What I mean by that is we don't have to have the yellow sticker to be facing on the top. We just need to make sure that we have the pieces all in the right place. So this one's clearly wrong. This is the yellow, green, orange corner, and it is in the position where the yellow, blue, red one should be. So this is wrong. I'm rotating the whole cube around because I don't want to do too many of these at this point. From here on, we want to be pretty careful with what we do. This one here is also wrong. So this one's wrong, this one's wrong, this one's wrong, and this one is right. Because this one is green, red, yellow, and it is in the place where green, red, and yellow goes. So position is right. Now, when we get to this point, you might find that only one of these is right, like we have now, or all 4 of them are right, or none of them are right. And if, in either case, if none of them are right, we have a new algorithm to do. And even if one of them is right, it's the same algorithm. So if we have 0 of these right, then when we run the algorithm, then we'll get 1 that's right. And then once we have that 1 that's right, we want to make sure that it's right here in the, how should I say it? It's the bottom right hand corner. So as long as we have the one that is correct here and not in these other 3 places, again, rotating the cube around, I want the correct one to be over here. So I'm going to rotate the cube so that it is. Making sure my centers are still lined up. We're going to run this algorithm, and what it's going to do is it's going to work on these other 3 corners and move their positions around while keeping this one right where it is. This is what the algorithm looks like. Up, right, up backwards, and left backwards. Then we're going to go up, right, backwards, and then up backwards and left. Okay, we did it. This piece didn't change. It's still right where it was. This is now right. This is right. And this is right. So we did so all 4 corners are right. Now, if we had done that algorithm and this one was still right, but these 3 weren't, you just run it again, one more time, and then it'll put them right. So at most, you might have to do this particular algorithm 3 times, but usually 1 or 2 times is all you need. All right, that is step 7. Okay, we are on to step number 8, and we are nearly done. We have done all of the pieces except for 2. We have 2 corner pieces that they're in the right place, but they need to be oriented so that the yellow stickers are on the top. And once we've done that, we have solved the whole cube. Now to do this, we're going to use an algorithm we used back in step 4. So we're going to flip this cube over, and we're going to pick one of the corners that is not solved, and we're going to run this algorithm. All right, now pay careful attention here because we don't want to do any more cube rotating now. Right now I've got the green face facing me, so I want to keep it that way as we run this algorithm. So here we go. It's right, up, right backwards, up backwards. Now look at how we were messing our cube up, right? We just keep going, trust me, it's going to work. We keep going until this piece is solved down here in the bottom. So here we go again. Right, up, right backwards, left backwards. Okay, this piece is now solved. Now, this stuff up here is all messed up, right? But what we're going to do is we're not going to rotate the whole cube, but we're going to rotate this bottom layer until we get back to our next unsolved piece, which is here. We're going to run that algorithm now as many times as needed until it is solved. Right, up, right backwards, up backwards. Keep going. Right, up, right backwards, up backwards. We're not done yet. Keep going. Right, up, right backwards, up backwards. Right, up, right backwards, up backwards. And guess what? We have one more final turn to solve the cube. And we're done. Okay, now that we've solved the cube, I've got my other one here that's not solved yet. I'll go through a full solution right now. Instead of breaking it up into smaller steps, I'm just going to go through each of the steps on this one, one by one, but we're going to do this rather quickly, but I'll still explain as we go. So in this solution, we want the white on the bottom, the yellow on top. We want to make a daisy. So I'm going to get the white stickers, get next to the yellow center. If I want to move this one up, I need to move that one out of the way first. Move it up. Here's another one. So I'll move this up, turn that around and move that up. That's 3. We're only looking for 4 white stickers here. This one wants to go up, so I'm going to move that around so I can get this one up. There's our daisy. That's step 1. Step 2, lining up the stickers with their centers. Once I find it, I'm going to rotate the front face down so that it lines up with white. Okay, looking for orange. There it is. We'll send it down. Here's blue. Was already done. And then here's green. And line it up with the center and send it down. Okay, we have a white cross. We have all the centers are aligned. By the way, if you happen to be able to look at 3 of them, you know the 4th one is right. Okay, that's step 2. Step 3 is getting the corners into the bottom layer with the white stickers on the bottom. Alright, so I'm going to take this piece here. The white sticker is facing up. I'm going to get it so that it's going to go into the blue, red, and white center. And I'm going to use the algorithm. So here it is again. It is right, up, right backwards, up backwards. I'm going to do it again. Right, up, right backwards, up backwards. And I'm going to do it again. Right, up, right backwards, up backwards. Okay, so now it's in there. This one, this is kind of lucky where these are added, put together. I'm going to show you what to do in this case. I'm not going to use that algorithm, but I am going to use the first method, which is just lining it up with the center and then kind of doing the little pendulum thing where you move it into place you move it out of the way, you put your edge piece back, and then you move this back. So that's 2 corners done. This one here, I'm going to go ahead and do that same thing again. Line it up with the center, and we will put it in, move it out of the way, put our edge piece back, and move it back. And then finally for the 4th one, I could do that pendulum thing, but I want to show the algorithm one more time. It's a good algorithm to know. It's probably the most important one, really, and it's only 4 moves. Right, up, right backwards, up backwards. There it is. That is step 3. We have a line with the center. We have our line and center on all 4 of the edges, and the bottom is completely white. All right, moving on to step 4. We want to get this piece over here. We're just lining it up with the center. We know that this needs to go here. We're going to use this algorithm. It's right backwards, up backwards, right backwards, up backwards, right backwards. We stop, and then we reverse, starting with the up face. Up, right, up, right. So in the algorithm, every time I say backwards, we should have a little tick mark there. It means counterclockwise. So I should probably start saying it that way, as clockwise. And we also use the word prime for the tick mark. So if you watch other tutorials, they might say R prime, which means going to the left counterclockwise. So like R prime, U prime, R prime, U prime, R prime, stop and reverse. U, R, U, R. So that's how most tutorial videos will describe these turns. Next thing is I have one more here. So this is going to go that way. So it's going to be R, U, R, U, R. And then U prime, R prime, U prime, R prime. Okay. Bottom 2 layers are done. Next step is to get the yellow cross, which got the yellow cross right away, so that step is actually done, right? But if it wasn't done and I had a line here, I would do this algorithm, which is front, up, right, up backwards, right backwards, front backwards. Then I have an L, basically a backwards L. I'm going to do it again. Front, up, right, up backwards, right backwards, front backwards. I've got my cross. Perfect. That step is done. That is step 5. Step 6 is to make sure that these all line up with their centers now from the yellow cross. I have one here that's solved, and I have another one that's solved. If we can position them so that it's to the right and to the back, the 2 that I don't have solved are right where I can see them on the left side and the front side. And then we run this algorithm here, which is right, up, right backwards, up again, right, up twice, and then right backwards. And then one more turn to the on the upside, another upturn. That will line up all 4 edges. That was step 6. Step 7 is now to get these corner pieces in the right placements. This one is right. It doesn't have to have the yellow sticker on top. It just needs to be in between the right colored centers. So this one is right. This is wrong. This is wrong. And this is wrong. We want to make sure that the one that is right is on the front right of your view, and make sure the other 3 are over here in these 3 places. This one is right. We run this algorithm here. It is up, right, up backwards, left backwards, then up, right backwards, up backwards, and left. This is right, this is right, this is right, and this is right. If they were still messed up, you could do that algorithm again, and it'll actually make them right. So you may have to do it 1 or 2 times. That was step 7. Step 8, you turn your cube all the way upside down, and whatever face you're looking at, right now I'm using the green one, it doesn't really matter. Whichever one we use, we stick with till the very end. So what we're going to do now is the 4-move algorithm on an unsolved corner, and we do it as many times as we need to. It is right, up, right backwards, up backwards. Keep going until this is solved in its place. Right, up, right backwards, up backwards. Right, up, right backwards, up backwards. Right, up, right backwards, up backwards. It's solved. Now it's very important that you finish it with the up backwards, because as soon as you did the right backwards, it was there. But you still have to do that last up backwards move to make sure that this is all going to work. Now that we've got that, I'm not rotating the whole cube now. I've solved this corner, but I need to pick another unsolved corner. So you just move this piece. I could go this way to this one, or this way to this one. It does not matter. So I'm just going to pick one. I'm going to use this one and do the algorithm again until this piece is solved. Right, up, right backwards, up backwards. Right, up, right backwards, up backwards. It's solved. It's solved because it's right next to the pieces it needs to be. So as long as the yellow sticker is facing down, we have solved this one. So I don't rotate the cube anymore. Just go to the next piece. I have 2 left. I'm going to do this one pretty quickly, and then I'll do the final one slowly. So here's what it looks like. Okay, solved. These 3 are solved. I have 1 more to go. I'm going to rotate this so that it's in place. We're going to go right backwards, up. Right, up, right backwards, up backwards. Right, up, right backwards, up backwards. It's very important that you do that last up backwards. And now we are 1 turn away from solving the cube. And there we go.